Welcome back to our channel, besties. Today is Wednesday, a beautiful day, but honestly, if the sun might be shining outside, but inside my brain it is a dark, stormy, dramatic mess because of what is happening in Port Charles right now. We need to talk, we need to vent, and we need to unpack all of this before I actually lose my mind. Let's get into it. Oh my god. Okay, but listen, I am literally shaking right now because the General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, May 6th are actually so dramatic, and I cannot even process it all. I was eating dinner and literally choked on my drink when I read what is about to happen. Let me just start with Ethan Lovett because I'm screaming. Ethan is back and he's already causing the most insane amount of chaos, and I am here for it, but also like, why would he do that? So Ethan meets back up with Sonny Corinthos, right? And he passes along some intel that is going to blow everything wide open. Ethan was apparently creeping around the Metro Court Gardens, which is insane, by the way. Like, why are you just lurking in the bushes, Ethan? And he saw Rick Lansing interacting with Ava Jerome. And of course, Ethan is immediately suspicious because it is Rick and it is Ava. Ava is literally always up to something. She just impressed Jen Sidwell and is playing this highly dangerous survival game with him. So, seeing her with Rick Ethan's alarm bells are ringing so loud I can hear them through the screen. I forgot to mention earlier, but Ethan and Rick have so much history of just not trusting each other at all. So Ethan spills all his Rick trust issues to Sonny, acting like Rick is the biggest threat in the room. But Sonny, who honestly needs to get it together, I swear points out the obvious. Rick doesn't trust Ethan either. It's literally the Spider-Man pointing meme, but with mobsters and lawyers. Sonny actually considers Ethan a massive problem when it comes to his new plan. What is the plan? Sonny wants to put Rick to the test, and Ethan's personal vendettas and suspicions are just getting in the way. I'm calling it now. This is going to end badly. Sonny is trying to play 4D chess with Jen Sidwell, who is a literal psychopath, blaming Sonny for Marco Rios' death and Jordan's car crash. And now he has Ethan and Rick fighting like children in the background. My jaw dropped when I realized how messy this alliance is getting. Okay, wait, speaking of Rick, this man is actually unhinged. While Ethan is tattling on him to Sonny, Rick is busy tracking down Elizabeth Baldwin at General Hospital. And you will not believe what he asks her. He literally asks if she wants to go away for the weekend with him. I can't even deal right now. The audacity, the absolute nerve of this man. After everything they've been through, all the toxic history, he just waltzes into GH and drops a romantic weekend getaway proposal. At this point, I'm yelling at my screen. Will Liz actually get on board with this romantic gesture? She needs to say no. She really does. But you know how she gets. But honestly, Liz has way bigger fish to fry right now because she is the only person in Port Charles who actually uses her brain. Which brings me to my next point, and don't even get me started on that because I will literally rant for an hour. Liz reaches out to Laura Collins on Tuesday's show. Why? Because Liz is a queen who notices things. She recently spotted Rocco Falconeri in this incredibly tense, highly suspicious moment with Britt Westbourne. Wait before that happened, actually. Remember that scene in the GH chapel? The one where Britt was basically manhandling Rocco and having a full-blown panic attack. Yeah. Liz saw that energy, and she is fretting. She is so worried about the trouble Britt might have dragged Rocco into. And honestly valid, Britt is currently being blackmailed by Ross Cullum, who by the way is the actual murderer of Marco Rios, and she is a complete mess. Liz pushes Laura to keep a close eye on her grandson, and I am just sitting here like, yes, Liz, tell her. But wait, here's the craziest part. It looks like Liz is actually on the verge of putting it together, that Rocco is the one who shot Ross Cullum. I'm dead. I am literally deceased. Jason is sitting in WSB custody, taking the fall, ruining his life, and Liz is just quietly connecting the dots in the background. But she doesn't tell Laura that part yet. Why wouldn't she tell her? I mean, I get it. You don't just drop a, hey, your teenage grandson shot a WSB director bomb casually over coffee, but still, the suspense is killing me. If Cullum finds out Rocco shot him, Rocco is dead. Britt literally said that to him. So, Liz holding on to this secret is so dangerous. Mark my words. This is going to explode in everyone's faces. Okay, where was I? Right, so while Liz is playing Detective ADA, Justine Turner is on an absolute warpath. Justine is eager to hunt down the other driver who fled the scene of Jordan's horrific Route 91 car crash. Which, by the way, was so terrifying. I am still recovering from watching that car go up in flames. Curtis Ashford, who is currently acting like a completely irrational, volatile mess, pointed Justine straight in Isaiah Gannon's direction. Curtis is literally convinced that Isaiah was the driver who hit the guardrail and caused the crash. I'm screaming, why would he do that? Curtis is so blinded by his grudge against Isaiah because Isaiah was at Portia's prenatal exam. Like, Curtis, my guy, you are projecting your relationship insecurities onto a literal hit and run investigation. It is not okay. So then Laura Collins has to step in. Laura, who is currently being blackmailed by Jen Sidwell and Ezra Boyle and has her own massive problems, actually takes the time to warn Justine that Curtis's grudge is driving his suspicions. Laura is basically like, hey, maybe don't arrest the doctor just because Curtis is jealous. And Justine, who is usually so smart, actually wonders if Laura's asking her to bury this case. I was like, are you serious? Justine, Laura stopped short of doing that, obviously, because Laura is a good person. But she tells Justine that everyone needs to keep a clear head and make sure personal vendettas aren't a factor. And she specifically points out that this goes for Justine too, since she is Jordan's friend. The tension in this scene is going to be iconic. I can already feel it. Wait, did I already say that? Whatever. Anyway, let's talk about Jordan. Jordan is finally out of the hospital. Thank goodness, because she was having full-blown meltdowns in her room and screaming at Isaiah to get out. So Jordan is out. She is recovering. She is dealing with the trauma of her facial scars and the long healing process ahead. And she has a talk with Curtis. She admits to him that she wishes they knew who the other driver was. She is just venting, right? Seeking comfort from the man she loves. And Curtis, with zero hesitation, admits that he thinks Isaiah is to blame. My jaw literally unhinged. Jordan is thrown for a massive loop. She is just staring at him like he has 3 heads. Because yes, she was annoyed with Isaiah giving her unsolicited healing advice, but accusing him of leaving them for dead in a fiery crash. That is a massive leap, Curtis. Honestly, I am so mad at Curtis right now. Like, he is real. He is letting his jealousy ruin an actual police investigation. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, we all know Isaiah didn't do it. We know who did it. It was Brook Lynn Quartermain. I am literally pulling my hair out. This brings me to the Quartermain mansion, which is currently operating like a mafia headquarters, thanks to Tracy Quartermain. Tracy is in full crisis mode, full cover-up mode, and she is being so ruthless, I'm actually terrified of her. She needs to get it together, I swear, because the way she is handling this is wild. Okay, but listen to what Tracy does. Tracy literally sits Brook Lynn down and invites her to turn herself in if she wants to potentially face charges instead of starting a family with Harrison Chase. The manipulation, the guilt trip Tracy, is making it crystal clear what is at stake here. She is basically saying, go ahead, Brook Lynn, go to the cops, ruin your life, lose your husband, lose the baby you want to adopt, go to prison. Or keep your mouth shut. I can't breathe. Tracy is hoping that by laying out the absolute worst case scenario, Brook Lynn won't actually confess to being the other driver that night. Brook Lynn hit that guardrail because she was tipsy after drinking wine at Charlie's pub. And she kept driving because she was terrified of a breathalyzer. And now Jordan almost died. Brook Lynn is struggling with so much guilt she can barely function. She is a nervous wreck. And to make matters a million times worse, she has to have an important discussion with Chase about their future. Chase, who is a literal police officer, Chase, who is the most pure, good-hearted guy in Port Charles, they sit down to talk, and it's all about getting on the same page about adopting baby Phoebe if that becomes a possibility. Willow literally just conditionally approved them to be foster parents. This is everything Brook Lynn has ever wanted. Had to pause and text my friend immediately when I read this because the dramatic irony is too much. And she is sitting there looking into Chase's eyes, knowing she committed a felony hit and run that nearly killed his former partner's ex-wife. I am yelling, how is she going to keep this secret? The guilt is eating her alive, and Tracy is just hovering in the background like a dark cloud enforcing the strict cover-up. If Chase finds out when, Chase finds out because this is a soap and secrets always come out, he's going to be devastated. His wife lied to him, covered up a crime, and let an innocent man like Isaiah take the heat from Curtis, mark my words. This marriage is going to explode. I am just so emotionally invested in this Phoebe storyline too. Like, what if Ethan Lovett is actually Phoebe's biological father from his past with Delilah Wilson? That is a huge fan theory right now, and if Ethan comes back to town and realizes his baby is being fostered by Brook Lynn, who is currently hiding a massive crime in the drama. The layers, I literally cannot cope. Every single person in Port Charles is lying to someone right now. Sonny is lying to himself about Ethan. Rick is lying to Liz about his intentions. Liz is hiding the Rocco secret from Laura. Curtis is lying to himself about Isaiah. And Brook Lynn is lying to literally everyone. And don't even get me started on the fact that Danny and Charlotte were also in a car that night. And Carly is covering that up too. There are literally 2 different cover-ups happening for the exact same car crash. Carly had Charlotte's car repaired to hide Danny's joyride, and Tracy is hiding Brook Lynn's scraped SUV. And meanwhile, 88 Justine Turner is out here chasing ghosts, and Curtis is trying to frame a doctor. It is a circus. A literal circus. And I am the clown watching it every single day. Honestly, Wednesday's episode is going to destroy me. I need to go lie down and process all of this because my heart rate is through the roof. Will Liz expose Rocco? Will Rick actually get Liz to leave town? Will Curtis ruin Isaiah's life? Will Brook Lynn crack under the pressure and confess to Chase? I don't know. But I will be glued to my screen screaming at these people like they can hear me. Seriously. They need to get it together. I'm done. I can't. See you guys next time if I survive this week's episodes.